Hey everyone, welcome back to the Nikki and Brie Show, and it is Brie today. That's right, you're getting a Brie solo today, and I'm really excited because I actually have a really fun announcement. I know, I feel like it's been a while. It's definitely been a while since I've been able to make a fun announcement, but your girl here is going to be a co-host of the X Games in Salt Lake City. That is right. Take me back to my childhood to where, oh my gosh, I started to have major crushes on boys. Yes, all the skaters. But yes, I'm co-hosting the X Games in Salt Lake City. And so I'm so excited. It's June 27th through the 29th. So if you're anywhere in that area, make sure to get tickets, come watch the X Games. I always find it so fascinating when you get to see these talented athletes compete, you know, the skaters, whether they're competing, it's, you know, street, the vert, the park, and it's both men and women. And then also you will have the BMX, and they're doing street, dirt, and park as well. And they'll be doing also the Moto X, best trick. So X Games is always a vibe. There'll be music playing. There's just going to be incredible people. So find your way there. And let's be honest, if you live in SoCal, that is a very short flight to Salt Lake City. So get on a plane, come see your girl host, and also watch some really, you know, fun tricks. So X Games, June 27th through the 29th, put it on your calendar. So I'm really excited. It's funny because I feel like I haven't done something like this in a minute. You know, Nikki's kind of been doing a lot of the hosting. So I'm like, whoa, it's my turn. And I get to show my skills, and it's an environment that I was raised in. So it's going to feel like home. I'm actually excited because I'm like, Tony Hawk and Bucky Lasek have to be there. Two skaters I was obsessed with watching growing up. But, you know, when Nikki and I graduated high school in Scottsdale, Arizona, we moved straight back to San Diego. We just wanted something new, and we had family there and friends. So it was just like an easy move. But we instantly immersed ourselves into the whole surf and skate scene. It was like, you know, that's 2002. So that era, I just felt like, you know, it was just on fire, extreme sports. And, you know, you had guys like Tony Hawk and Kelly Slater, who were massive names, really putting extreme sports on the map. And, you know, I'll never forget when Kelly Slater was dating, gosh, I felt like he dated Pamela Anderson. I think Giselle at one time. I don't know. Like, it was like these guys were dating models and big names. So it was a fun time to be around extreme sports. And I'm so excited that it's kind of like full circle. Here I am 20 something years later, and I get to immerse myself back into the community. And I have my eye on a couple people. There's this one girl from Australia, Riza. She is incredible, and I can't wait to see her compete at the skate park. Really see her on the vert too. It's going to be amazing, and street. But so excited. So I will keep you guys updated on social media. Follow me. You get to see everything. Also, this will be streamed on xgames.com for worldwide streaming. And you'll also be able to see it on a couple big networks that I will get to you. So, you know, it's going to be a vibe. It's going to be so much fun. I've already started to get my outfits together, of course, which is always a fun part of hosting. So I'm excited, you guys. So today's episode, I thought, you know, talking about the X Games and kind of hosting, and I feel like I haven't done something like this in a minute. There was someone in the tasting room. So I'm always in and out of the tasting room. And we did have a big wine club Zoom. And I'll always ask people, like, you know, because I start to chit chat with strangers in there. And then I'll be like, hey, what do you want us to talk about on our podcast? You know, we drop 2 episodes a week. So tell me, what is it you want to hear from Nikki and I? And multiple times we kept getting people saying, can you talk about confidence? Like how to get confidence, inspire me with it and all this stuff. And I was like, ooh, that's kind of tough. I'm like, we're going to do an episode on confidence, like how to gain confidence, get confidence, build confidence, keep confidence. Because I'll admit, like my whole life, I've struggled with that. It's like you'll have moments where you're feeling so confident. You're on top of the world. You're doing your thing. You feel unstoppable. And then there's things that will, happen in life, whether you lose a job, you lose a gig, or, something more devastating that can just kind of throw just the feeling you have for life. And there's so many things that come into play in the game of life, all different obstacles that can really make your confidence go up and down. But I write in my phone when people tell me what they want me to talk about. And I was like, you know what, Brie, too many people ask for confidence. So I was like, I'm going to do it today. And I think it goes off really nicely, like all of a sudden me getting the phone call. And see, the thing is they asked Nikki first to host, but she had a conflict. And like, well, we would love Brie. And I did a Zoom when I was in France with them. So it almost felt like I had an audition. And they loved me. It was great. And they're like, hey, we want to hire you. But let me tell you, you get all excited, right? You get the job. You're all worked up. You're like, let's celebrate. I got it. And then all of a sudden reality starts to just set in and you're like, oh shoot, am I like good enough for it? Am I prepared? Like you start to doubt yourself in so many different things. And so I instantly, after France, had to really start to build my confidence that like, no, I'm going to knock this out of the park. I'm meant for this. I'm great. Age, all the things that you can think hurt you, they're not. It's going to hurt me. And so I was like, you know what? I'm talking about it this episode. So confidence, how I do it, how I build myself up, how when I have big gigs or even in parenting or being a wife, like just different parts of my life, how do I do it? And number one, I was really like studying this in the last week, you guys, because I knew I wanted to do a solo episode for y'all. And the first thing that came to me that I realized like I really always have to work on when I really want to be confident is my inner voice. It's the one thing that will pull like me down and make me feel really awful or make me not feel good enough. But that inner voice that every time I look in the mirror can like be so quick to look at all like my flaws or be so quick to pick me apart in a negative way. That inner voice that when I walk in a room can either make me walk in with my head up high or walk in and be like, I don't know, these people, they're smarter than you, more successful than you. Should you really be in this room? It's that inner voice. And the one thing I do, just like I got this job, I'm quick to be like, am I good enough? And the minute we can work on that inner voice, be like, I am more than good enough. Why they called? I am my look, my vibe, like where I've come from, the parts of my life that I enjoyed the most being around extreme sports. Like I am so meant for this. And even as a parent, like there's times where we have these days where like, man, our kids can really make us feel like, am I a fit mom? Like, am I doing this right? Am I screwing up two little humans? Like you can really doubt yourself as a parent. Oh my gosh. And it's that inner voice that sometimes will make you doubt. But the minute we start to condition that inner voice to be our biggest cheerleader, to really just the first time I look in the mirror in the morning, it tells me all the positive things. It tells me like, girl, you might have gotten 5 hours of sleep, but you look good for 5 hours of sleep, but also for 20 hours of sleep. You look good. And, I really had to work on that a lot. And I will say my inner voice now is more positive. Definitely uplifts me. I mean, sometimes she tells me so many great things. I'm like, all right, settle down. I know we're feeling good. But so that would definitely be my first thing. Just work on your inner voice. And a lot of times I have to journal. We talk about that a lot on the podcast, but I swear to it. I'm going to talk about it till the end of time. And I hope how much we talk about it, you guys actually start to do it. But journaling really helps your inner voice to be loud and positive, and that's what you need. So work on it. Write down all the positive things about you. Write down things that your strengths, like what are your strengths? Because we're not supposed to be fully perfect. We're going to have like things we're not good at. There's plenty of things I'm not good at. And it really helps me out to like take what I'm not good at off the list to know like, if I'm ever asked to do this or that, like I'll say this. I was asked one time to do special forces. No, I just don't like the ocean. I don't want to be put in a position where I'm dropped in the ocean. I just don't. That game over for me. Or there's different little situations I can think in my life. I just don't have the strength for it. And it's okay. So when I get asked to do certain things, I'm like, no, because I don't even want to be put in a situation to feel bad about myself or to even just be there with all my weaknesses, trying to find strength. I don't know. So it really helps to write things out of like your weaknesses to what your strengths are. And what I love about my strengths is I know what my strengths are. Like I know I can speak in front of people. Do I get nervous? Absolutely. But I can do it and I thrive on it. And the minute I speak that first sentence, it's like, whew, I'm sitting in a living room with just a couple people, even though I might be speaking to thousands of people. It's a strength of mine. And I feel like I don't get stage fright. Now, are there times like I want to vomit? Yeah, before going out, absolutely. But I love those challenges. I like feeling like that. And then I like to, accomplish those things that scare me, which also I'm going to get to that. That helps build confidence. So work on the inner voice. I think that's the first thing. And figure out, when your inner voice is telling you all these negative things, maybe write it down. Be like, why do I allow the inside of myself to say these mean things to me? So I think write it down and dissect that. And then also dissect your strengths. And then really start to let that voice know those strengths and really start to have that voice become your cheerleader. And I'm not kidding you, that will give you confidence. Another thing that, look at me, I wrote in my journal. This is what I do, guys. I love it. I like write my whole thing out and just because I don't want to miss a beat. When those moments you like sit alone in your room and you're feeling super inspired and you write down 20 pages of something, I did that. But I really don't want to miss something because I really felt like everything I was feeling in the moment, I'm like, yes, I need to say that. So another thing that I felt was having little goals, not big goals, not like I want to be a millionaire at this age or something, like little goals, like going to the gym, cooking that healthy meal, cleaning my chicken coop, planting my tomatoes in my garden. Even kid stuff, like making sure Birdie and Buddy are signed up for camp. When you have these little goals and you accomplish them, I am not kidding, without knowing, your confidence is building. Every time I'm in the gym, and I've been really working out hard with Nikki, and we just went up in our weight. Now she's already lifts heavier than I do, but I just went up and I went up 10 pounds. But it was 10 pounds. And like my arms today, they are sore. But the way I felt just adding 10 more pounds on these lifts, I felt like incredible. It gave me so much confidence. When I walked out of there, I was like, I wanted to pass out, but I also felt good. I felt stronger mentally, physically. I felt like, I don't know, I had a goal, and then it makes you start to crave then another goal. Like, okay, when I'm going to go 10 more pounds up. And we've been working out with the trainer. So the nice thing is that they really are like, okay, slow and steady wins the race. We don't need to do this fast. So that's the nice thing. But every time I'm like, okay, I clean my chicken coop once a week, unless it feels like it needs more, but usually once a week. Every time I'm in there with the chickens, and they always look at me like I'm crazy. But, I'm cleaning, and, chicken poop doesn't smell the best. And just like now too, when it's getting hot, there's some flies that can be on the poop and you're like, geez, and like just cleaning up and doing the whole thing. But every time I'm done, I just feel so accomplished. And it's cleaning a chicken coop. But I don't know what it's like. I clean it so these 6 chickens can provide me with eggs, but I don't want them to get sick. And it's just like this circle of like we're giving and taking from each other, but it's like really beautiful. And so every time I clean my chicken coop, I feel so accomplished. And I can see my personality and like even the way I hold my head, my shoulders, like that's like a confidence boost without me even realizing. It makes me feel good. And I would tell you, do you all remember when I was like, how the hell do I raise chickens? Remember that episode when I'm like, I really want chickens, don't know how to do it. And then I was like thrown in the fire to raise chickens because all of a sudden they were just in my coop. They just appeared because there was a little miscommunication with my one lady, which was fine. It all worked out. Now I feel like I can go speak in front of thousands of people and be like, all right, this is how you raise chickens. And I'm not even a pro. It's just putting myself in those situations and not being afraid, being like, okay, let's figure this out. Watch a couple YouTube videos, do a little research, maybe look at a book, and boom, my confidence of just like raising chickens and the whole process of cleaning and getting their eggs. I mean, it's really incredible. And, that even goes with health. Like, we don't just wake up and know how to be healthy. Like, we get it. We know, like, how to eat clean in a way. But, I've done a lot of research, and not only for myself, for my kids. And every time I feel like I cook my kids a healthy meal, or they're asking me to slice them up cucumbers and watermelon, and, and if they're offered a sweet, they're like, oh, not right now. Like, no. Like, all those little things to me are a win. And, as a parent, it takes a lot when it comes to our kids to make them eat healthy and even to figure out their health and make sure they're healthy. I constantly feel like it's trial and error. Like, am I doing this right? Are they okay? Like, everything's fine, right? And even with myself, with my health, I've been on this journey you guys have seen with Hone Health and also my natural path and a couple other people, like just putting all the puzzle pieces together to be like, okay, why do I feel like this? Am I okay here? Am I there? Like, finally yesterday, I got an ultrasound because we've been thinking I've had a hernia, and I went and got checked. They're like, maybe go get an ultrasound. Finally yesterday, they're like, you don't. Built up scar tissue. And it was so nice to walk out of there and just be like, I know my answer. It will hurt a little bit when I lift. That's fine. I can deal with that. But I don't have to get hernia surgery. Like, there's no hernia because I've already had hernia surgery. I don't like it. It's painful. I mean, I'll do it, right? Like, but it's like those little things, like when you accomplish something, I don't know. I think without us knowing, it builds our confidence. So I think really look out for that. So for some of you, even who might not make those little goals, like I recommend, like, this coming week, be like, you know what? I'm going to hit the gym. And if you don't like going to the gym, go on a really nice long walk. I'm actually going to write in my journal. I'm actually going to do that 10 minutes of meditation that I keep telling myself I need and I want to do. I just don't do it because for some reason, sitting in 10 minutes of quietness sounds awful, which is wild, right? Because when you actually say it, like, let's be honest, our bosses came up to us and was like, you know what? Can you go into a quiet room and just have 10 minutes of silence? Doesn't that sound rewarding? But for some reason, when we're home, it's like we feel too busy, or we don't have enough time, or we don't have enough patience just to sit in silence for 10 minutes. But to have like little tiny goals like that, or clean out a drawer you've been always wanting to clean out. We all have junk drawers, that drawer that just piles up so much crap that you don't even know what's in there. And you don't even know if it's important. And probably it's not important because you don't even know it's what's in there, right? So like those little tiny things, I'm not kidding. You get to them this week, and tiny things, don't make them big. When you are done doing them, without knowing, you're going to feel this boost in your energy and your confidence. And that's a big part of it. Another thing I was thinking about with confidence, and we've all known this, Brie in her 40s is like unstoppable in a way, right? And I started to think, like, why? And I go, oh, it's because I have accepted what is, and I've let go of what was and what could be. And instead I'm like, this is who I am. This is my life. And I don't care what people think. And what comes with that is not only freedom, but confidence. Like, I have the confidence to say, like, this is me. Like, you don't want a girl that's looks like this and loves these things or acts like this or whatever, then okay, bye. I have literally taken that part of me of like caring so deep of what people's perception of me is, how I should be. It's like, no, actually, this is who I am. I'll work somewhere. And I've talked about that in a solo episode. Like, who you are fits in somewhere. And I think, and I've just realized that in the last couple years. So if you're way younger than me and you can really get on board with this, you will be way ahead of me and be winning at so many different things. But I realized that gave me a lot of confidence. Like, this is who I am. So when I do walk into groups I don't know and people are way more educated than me using big ass words I do not know, whatever, that's fine. That's not me. And if you tell me what that word is, I'll let the rest of humanity know in a very simple word. I like to think, majority of us use simple words. And so I feel like the minute I accepted my status, who I am, what I want out of life, my family, how I was raised, everything about me, and that came with me, the baggage, all of it. I accepted all of it, and I was like, this is your girl. Not going to apologize. And that gives you confidence. So for a lot of you who, are still trying to, make your whole family situation make sense. And that's for any of you out there who have hard relationships with either your mothers, your fathers, siblings, cousins, whatever it may be. You got to accept it for what it is. I mean, you don't want to spend your whole life just using all this energy trying to make it work the way you want it to work. Because I'll be honest, at my age, people don't change. They change some things, but they're who they are. And you either take them in or you don't. I don't know. But so it's starting to accept those type of situations for sure. And then also I feel like accepting who you are. I think sometimes we all, and I was big in this, fantasize of who we'd love to be. And for someone like me who didn't go to college, I mean, I tried. Just wasn't for me, which is fine. There was pro wrestling for me, which was the better fit. But, I think sometimes we'll fantasize, like, well, we're this person, and we'll fantasize that. I just wish I was that person who could speak 3 languages, have a degree, know really big words. Like, I'll put stress on myself. And let me tell you, there used to be a decade of every time I had a New Year's resolution, it was to be fluent in Spanish, fluent in Italian, to take, maybe I take online college courses. Then I also wanted to do this grammar school thing. Like, I put so much stress on myself of the person I thought I should be, and that person would thrive if they knew multiple languages and had a degree and knew big words. I was like, I can be that person. Why can't I just sit down and do it? I put so much stress on myself, especially in my 30s. It was really my 30s of wanting to be that person, always having it on my New Year's resolutions and never ever doing it and kind of feeling shitty about it. And I was like, I finally, when I hit 40, I'm like, that's not who the F I am. And I don't actually want to be that person. And I can give 2 shits for anyone who thinks I should be that person. And so for me, it was just accepting who I am. I don't feel like sitting down and reading a dictionary and learning big words. And I actually am very satisfied in my life. And I like to say my street smarts of what I've accomplished in my life that didn't need a degree. And I know that kills some people because everyone is like, college is so important. Agree. But also, a lot of people become successful without it. So there you go. And I also have some friends who never even used their degrees and instead has paid a crazy amount of student loans for something they never used. So I kind of feel like you don't have to be the cookie cutter and do high school, then college and the whole shebang. Just do whatever you feel. Just know who you are. And once again, that goes back to journaling, knowing who you are, what you want out of life, what you want from yourself, and accept it. Just accept who you are. And I finally did that. And that gave me a lot of confidence, accepting relationships, accepting who I am, and then also accepting who I am as a parent. I think we'll sit and, hey, I'm the girl who loves Pinterest. And I also love seeing, what some people are doing on social media as moms. But I'm like, am I great at arts and crafts? Absolutely. Because I love to do them because I'm artsy. So that doesn't feel hard to me. But I want to make my kids overnight oats all the time. And I bought the cute containers because I saw someone do it really cute on Instagram. Those containers are still sitting in my pantry. I have the Pinterest recipe that they make you feel like it takes 5 minutes. And for some reason, I haven't done it. And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to do the overnight oats in this cute little container that a spoon is attached with, like, you know, the bowl of the fresh berry, like the whole thing. And let's be honest, like, I stress myself out thinking I'm such a good cook. I'm so these things. Why am I not doing it? And it's like, because that's not who I am. I'm not that mom. Now, do I cook my kids like fresh eggs? I make them like, you know, fresh eggs, and sometimes I'll have turkey bacon, and I do the fresh fruit. And then there's mornings like today when I was a little tired, and I was like, you know what, guys, we're going to do granola, and I sliced up fruit. But that was the morning because I did not feel like doing eggs and bacon. So that was that. And so I think, you know, just accepting like I'm the mom that's going to be healthy, and I'll be out playing with my kids, and I'll do arts and crafts, but they're just not going to get the Betty Crocker meals. Like, you know, some moms are great at doing, and I'm not going to put pressure on myself. And I've realized I'm a simple eater. So to do all these elaborate meals, I kind of felt like we're a waste. And I'm like, you know, we're just the simple eating family, and that's okay. So just not putting the pressure on myself anymore. And that really helps with confidence, because if we put the pressure and stress on ourselves, and especially if things that just seem so wild to accomplish, then you're going to lose confidence. You're going to feel bad about yourself. You feel like you're not keeping up, and when really you are. So that's definitely like one thing I recommend. And then another thing that I was thinking about when I was journaling is allowing myself to be uncomfortable. And then, and usually why I'm uncomfortable is because I'm being challenged, whether it's in a career, even sometimes as a parent, as a wife, but making myself uncomfortable and then getting comfortable with whatever made me feel uncomfortable really boost my confidence. And so, for example, I'm going to be co-hosting the X Games. I have never, ever co-hosted the X Games. This will be my first time. The crew that is there, they've been together for a very long time. So I'm a newbie coming in, and that's going to be uncomfortable. One, you always need to earn your respect, right? And I love that. And I'm a big believer in that. And two, I want to show people like why I was hired and why I'm here and why I have the seat at the table. But that can make you uncomfortable, right? Because that's pressure. And, you know, we all, I like think we all, but you want to like show your best self, and you want to make sure that morning when you wake up, it's your best self going out there. When I was a competitive soccer player, there was times I didn't know I was going to have a bad game. You had a bad game and it sucked, and everyone saw it, and your coach pulled you aside and was like, hey, today wasn't the day, but I need you the next game. I need the Brie that we always usually see. But that's the one thing I knew as an athlete. Like, I'm not going to be my best at every single game, because a lot of factors play in, whether you got bad sleep, maybe you weren't as hydrated, maybe you're fighting an injury, whatever. And that same goes in life as a parent, as a career woman. So I definitely, you know, which is so crazy, I like getting put in uncomfortable situations because I know I'm being challenged. It's fun in life to be challenged. And I know I'll fail, but I'm not going to fail this time. But I know I have failed. And I've learned from all of that. But there's nothing greater than like I will visualize, like I'll meditate. I'll sit there and visualize my smile and the way I feel at the end of X Games because I knocked it out of the park. I'll keep visualizing that and really feeling that. And I feel like I go in with the energy of like, I'm going to nail this. And that alone builds my confidence. But I think it's important for people. And I know some of you are like, well, how do I make myself uncomfortable? I don't get asked to co-host the X Games. There's different things. Like, you know, it's uncomfortable when all of a sudden, I'll never forget the first time I went to a new church. And you like walk in and everyone can clearly tell you're new. And you're like, okay, hi, my name is, you know, it's and introducing yourself to people and becoming a part of a new community. I feel like is very uncomfortable. I remember some of my first play dates with Birdie, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay, so I'm going to have to talk to this mom, like just thinking of the questions I want to ask her. And I didn't even know like would these questions even matter? But as we're on our way to the play date, because I get uncomfortable when it's always, if there's silence, because I feel like, oh my gosh, are we not vibing? Is this like, does she not like my personality? Like I'll start to like that inner voice, right? Will start to get really loud and like tell me all the bad things that person might be thinking of me. But so I've definitely have had to get comfortable with that. Like it's okay for things to be quiet for a little bit. Like you might be on a play date and there might be silence. You might be sitting next to someone. It might be silent for a couple minutes. That's okay. Like something happens in a question or a conversation will all of a sudden blossom. It happens. So I had to put myself in those situations. And it was funny because, you know, I've always pushed Nikki to do it. But she's like, it's just so uncomfortable going on play dates. And I'm like, yes, but once you do a couple, you break through, trust me, it ends up becoming so fun. It's actually nice to sit and talk with a mom who's going through the same thing you are. Like yesterday, I was with a bunch of moms. We were laying out at a pool. And it is so nice to know you're not bugging someone who's childless, right? You're talking to actually people who like have kids your same age and if not a little younger, a little older. And we're like, oh man, my kid keeps coming in the middle of the night for the last couple of weeks. And then everyone's like, oh, me too. Or someone's like, oh, this is what I did. And I don't know. It's like almost like we all like get a vent and then we get to like work out the situation like detectives. And then we help each other out. And then you get all this great advice and you could pick from all the different advice of what will work for you. And then you go home and try it. So I have learned that play dates have become like my college classes. It's like they are my classes. I learn, I get to have fun, and it's like something good always comes out of them. And also it's nice because it's nice that you don't feel alone. Like I tell my sister that, I'm like, it's great because you're with these other moms who like are going through the grind too. And you don't feel alone. Like it's great to relate to people. But you got to get a little uncomfy. You get uncomfy to get comfy. So, and that builds confidence. So do that. And you can do that in anything. Like you don't have to be a celebrity. You don't have to have some rockin' job, or you don't even have to be a parent. There's a lot of situations in life that can be uncomfortable, and get comfortable. Like it's okay to be uncomfortable. And at the end of the day, you don't like being uncomfortable. You tried it a couple of times, then there you go. You know, you're not that person. So then X that out of your life. Okay. And then another thing I was thinking about is preparation. I think sometimes as adults, and this, no, actually, it's not all adults like me, preparation, you forget that preparing wasn't for children. It's not for kids who are going to go take an exam or, you know, getting ready as, you know, an athlete to be a star athlete, to go off to college for a full ride, whatever it is. It's like, no, preparation is great for anything. I mean, it's great when you go, like I fully prepared myself to have a conversation, you know, at a parent teacher conference, and walking in so prepared gave me confidence to actually say what I wanted to say. Cause let's be honest, like sometimes you're like, I don't know if you guys do this, but Brian and I will pump ourselves up in the car. Like, all right, you're going to say this to the teacher. I'm going to say this. We're going to get like, let them know everything. And then all of a sudden we'll be in there. We're like, oh yeah. And then we'll walk out and I'm like, you were supposed to say this. And he's like, you're supposed to say this. I'm like, damn it, Brian, we weren't confident to say it. And it's because I realized we weren't prepared. So like this last time, Brian and I were super prepared. Like I'm talking 48 hours of just like pretty much kind of role playing with each other in the bedroom. Like, okay. And then like really studying. And I think too, because I was working with a naturopath with Birdie's health and all the brain stuff, I was very prepared and had a lot of knowledge about things, and then started to do my research. So it was so incredible to feel so prepared and know the words I wanted to say, the things. And I did have things written out because I do forget. I need that. And sometimes I won't do that because I think I'll remember everything. And it's like when you walk in so prepared and you actually get your point across, and all the things that are laying heavy on your heart, you express. And then we worked on it. And I walked out of there feeling incredible. And also knowing like I just benefited my daughter. And it was amazing then when I was that prepared, and the questions I had, the hard hitting ones, the teacher came back with such knowledge. And I was like, whoa. And I even apologized to the teacher and was like, I'm sorry I didn't come to you sooner. After speaking to you and hearing all this, like it was almost like I was like, wow, like I learned so much, but I went in there so prepared. Where before, usually I would have like nodded, smiled, and like, great, we'll work on it. Bye. It was so different. And I was so proud of Brian and I, because I'm like, we really prepared and we did it. And it benefited everyone. And so, like, the X Games, every day I've been watching different skaters, men and women, different BMXers, like seeing them compete at different places, making their way to the X Games in Salt Lake City, starting to become familiar with people's stuff, the tricks that are important, because I want to go in there prepared. And there's no better feeling. And let's be honest, when you are prepared, like you have studied your ass off for a test, right? Or you know you're going to go to some meeting where they need to hear people's voices, and you really studied what's going on in the community so you can go speak. Like, there is no better confidence than being prepared, because you will either ace the test, you will speak up, or I don't know, you just make moves. And so I was like, that's a thing we kind of forget about with our confidence, is preparation. And so you always feel good. And even if you don't ace the test, even if whatever you say to help out the community gets denied, you still feel good. But what doesn't make you feel good is when you literally will go take a test, you knew you didn't study, you really don't know it, and you fail. You feel like shit. And then if they're like, okay, Brie, come on, at the board meeting, you're going to speak. And I'm like up there and I'm like, so we all, and you like don't know what you're going to say. You feel like a clown. And then you leave there failing worse. And you're like, why did I put myself in that situation? But it's like when you're prepared, no matter what, winning, losing, whatever it may be, you feel good. And that builds your confidence. So whatever it is you're doing, and like I said, it was something as simple as Brian and I going to teacher parent conference. But there's a lot of things in my life. Like when I just was in Bentonville with Bonita, I really had to prepare, just knowing everyone there, the people I'm speaking to, what the event is about, what they want out of it. And it was great. And I felt really confident standing up in front of these really successful people and speaking, because I was so prepared. And like I was up like even the 2 nights before when I was there, instead of like going out and having fun, like I did the dinner, but I would make sure to go back to my room, and I was like writing stuff out, like looking at papers, because I was just like, instead of having those extra glasses of wine, and yes, it's nice to like be out with people, I'm like, I'd way rather know my stuff and wake up the next morning, have a good cup of coffee, review everything, and just feel good. Like I can go into any room and speak. Or how many times have you guys sat somewhere and like they're like, anyone have any questions? Or, hey, Brie, so, and that'll happen to me a lot too, is like I can be at a place and they're like, well, Brie, why don't you just come up and say something? And I'm like, holy moly. But anytime I'm prepared, I'm like, yeah, sure, usually make a mom joke, that no one laughs at. But, it's something. And so preparation, do it. You have so much confidence. I can't even tell you. And then lastly, my last thing on confidence, and I really hope it's helped you guys, because when you guys have asked me in the tasting room and when we were on that wine Zoom, why Nikki and I have not done the episode yet is because I remember just kept thinking like, confidence, how do I tell someone how to have confidence? But then it hit me the other night. So I did feel inspired. So I just was going down the rabbit hole. And this last one, I really feel is important, because especially for people who are visual, I'm visual and I need it. And then if you're not, I'll tell you what I think could help you on the other side of it. But I need to tape up affirmations. I need to tape things up on, like if you go into my bathroom, you see my bathroom mirror. And ever since Brian has dated me, I mean, we're going on like 14 years of being together, he has always seen me tape up affirmations in my closet, on my mirror. I have never gone a day without it. And even if I don't read it every day, I see it. And there are days like I read it, but I need to be told like greatness. I need to be filled with loving words and words that make me feel like they're about me and with positive and strength and just different things to make me really conquer a day. And so if you look at my closet too, I always say I have a vision board, and then I have a board of just like some big words that stick out that, like I'm grabbing my shirt and I glance over, I see it, and I know that just lays with me, like without me knowing. It's in my conscious, and they'll go with me throughout the day. And if I'm feeling down, I'm like, I read it, and it instantly makes me feel good. And so, and actually for my inspiration affirmation for this episode, I'm going to read you what's on my mirror. But I would really like just spend time, I did, where I knew there were certain quotes that really hit, or song lyrics, or, we all know I love Pinterest. So I would see a lot of like really neat sayings or different things, and I would print them out. And also like, this is so crazy, but I'd see stuff in magazines and I'm like, oh my gosh, that the way the word looks and the word and visually everything, I'd cut it out, stick it, on my board. So I really recommend doing that. And even if there's been times where like for example, like I'll probably write on a flashcard something about the energy I want to bring to the X Games. So I haven't figured out what I want to write in my note card, but I'm going to probably tape that up tonight or tomorrow, so I can see it every day until I'm in front of the camera in Salt Lake City. And I'll actually probably bring it with me to have in my hotel room. But I think it's really important to do that. And if, there's something you want to gain in the next month, like, you don't even have to be doing an event, but just something you want, then write it down and put it up on your mirror. I think it's really important. So that's one thing. And then if you're more of you need to hear it, you're not visual, putting together a playlist. Like Nikki and I both, we have kind of the same type of songs and meditation music or whatever that really like makes us just feel like warriors, is what we'll say. And really build our confidence, making us feel like we can walk right in and we're going to do it. And we're going to do it great. And so I think putting a playlist on, and if it helps you to hit it every morning as you're putting on your makeup or you're taking your shower, or every night, you're doing bedtime routine, but that gets you going and that makes you feel good. I mean, music really can amp you up and make you feel like, you can conquer. I mean, I love the song Unstoppable by Sia. I think the lyrics, I think everything about that song, it's like, it makes me feel like I am. And so I get worked up. So do that. And then my last thing, if you're not into visual or listening, then doing. So something Nikki and I, we did it before every single wrestling match. We did it before we ever went onto stage to speak. Or, even live podcast shows, like you name it. Nikki and I, we do this warrior pose, and we'll close our eyes. Sometimes we'll look at each other and like say like really nice things to each other and like build each other up. And we just like stand in this really strong warrior pose. And we'll like stand there for a couple minutes, unless we feel like we need more. And we just almost like feel like we just bring the energy in of what we want to do. And like if it was wrestling, we'd be like, girl, we like, just say these really nice, strong words to each other, or what we wanted out of the match. Or, and we would say it to each other and we looking and pump each other up. Now I'm lucky I have a twin, right? But I also would do the warrior pose individually. And I'm going to do it at my hotel room in Salt Lake City every day before I get in that car and I head to, the park. So that just getting in that place and feeling it, like Nikki and I would really it would make us feel very confident. And so I recommend it. Get in your bathroom, try the warrior pose. We got to the point we had no shame. We do it in the hallways at backstage at WWE. We like, no, we need this. We'll do it in a dressing room with other people staring at us. We don't care. And even like before our live podcast, like people have seen us do it in the back. Like we'll be in the back doing it before we walk out on stage and you guys all see us. So the warrior pose is like really big for Nikki and I to just really bring in that energy, to give us a lot of confidence to just like do great. And so I really recommend that. And, before I get into a little inspiration affirmation one. I hope this helped. When you guys ask me, I never know, like, you know, what you're looking for. I'm not a professional. As we all know, I don't have a college degree, so I'm not a therapist. I'm none of these things. I just literally like to tell you things I do in my life that I feel really help. And also things, you know, I am 41, so I feel like I've had a lot of experience with a lot of different situations. And I like to tell you my experiences and what I did after that I felt helped. So that's what I hope I gave you on this episode. And for a lot of you that asked about the confidence, I hope this helps. And write it down. Like, write down my little points. Try to bring them into your life, or at least try this week and see what works. But I wish you the best, and I wish you a lot of confidence. And, you know, before I head out, I'm going to give you a little inspiration affirmation of what's been up on my mirror. And this one I actually put up when we moved into this house. I used to have this other one at our old house, and then I saw this, and it was actually cute. It was in like a little cute home goods store, and it was already like a little cardboard cutout, so it was perfect. And it's long, by the way. But I was like, you know what? I like reading this. I just loved it. I'm like, this is what I need. So this has been on my mirror since May. May today there be peace within. May you trust that you are exactly where you are meant to be. May you not forget the infinite possibilities that are born of faith in yourself and others. May you use the gifts that you have received and pass on the love that has been given to you. May you be content with yourself just the way you are. Let this knowledge settle into your bones and allow your soul the freedom to sing, dance, praise, and love. It is there for each and every one of us. And this was by Saint Teresa of Lizzo? No, not Lizzo. It's like French. Lissois. Lissois? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Lisieux. Oh, is that a go? So Liz go. I don't know. Liz go? Anyways, Saint Teresa. So that is on my mirror. I read it a lot. But I was just like, every single one of those lines, you take it and you're going to have confidence going through the roof, right? Okay, everyone. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and you can find this episode on our YouTube channel, so you can see just moi on the couch speaking to all of you. You can also find videos of this episode on the Nikki and Brie Show IG page, TikTok, Facebook, and the Nikki and Brie Show is also on SiriusXM Stars 109. And if you have any questions, whether it was about today's episode or just questions you have for Nikki and I in life or whatever it may be, you can call us at 833-GARCIA-2. And I hope you have a beautiful week, and make sure to check me out on the X Games, okay? And stay tuned because I'll let you know all the major networks it will be on, and also just head to xgames.com so you can do the worldwide stream as well. Okay. Bye, everyone.